Yesterday afternoon was a very active afternoon with severe weather across Iowa and Missouri, as unfortunately we did see devastating tornadoes, especially for the town of Greenfield, Iowa. My heart goes out to everybody there that was affected by the tornado. As we went into yesterday evening, those storms pushed east into Wisconsin, Illinois, and southeast Missouri while still producing severe weather. Thankfully, the tornado threat did decrease significantly as the areas pushed eastward in towards the eastern portions of the Mississippi Valley. And as we go into the early morning hours of this morning, those storms finally fizzled out as they made into the drier air across the Great Lakes and into portions of the Ohio Valley. So looking at the storm reports across the upper Midwest, the Midwest, all the way down to the southern plains, we saw several wind reports here as expected. This was likely to be a wind event. We had 253 wind reports, 8 of those with winds of hurricane force. We saw 69 hail reports, 8 of those were of 2-inch diameter or larger, and we had 20 reports of tornadoes from Wisconsin, southern Minnesota, and most of those actually in central and southwestern Iowa, including those devastating tornadoes in around the Des Moines area back there into southwestern Iowa. Going into today, we have another significant chance for severe weather. We have an enhanced risk of severe weather from central Texas all the way up here into central Arkansas, with the slight risk extending all the way up here into the eastern Great Lakes, all the way up into New York State. So if you want to help out and subscribe to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We'll keep you covered on the latest weather information right outside your door and right at your fingertips. And again, if you want to help out to help more people be aware of the severe weather, make sure to give the video a like down below. It helps to get all of this information passed along to more and more people. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those later on in the video. So here's the setup for today. The cold front that did move through the Midwest, bringing that tornado outbreak yesterday, is now through areas of Lake Michigan and into the Ohio Valley. But ahead of that, we're seeing a lot of instability again building from the eastern lakes through the Ohio, Tennessee River Valley, and especially down here into the southern plains. Look at these bright purples and whites down here in Texas, the Arklatex region, into Arkansas, Louisiana, and southeast Oklahoma. That is over 4,000 joules per kilogram instability. That is labeled as extreme instability. So we're going to tap into that, and we have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk from the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma here for that region, for the Dallas-Fort Worth area, down I-35 toward Waco, Texarkana, Little Rock here, and even into toward the Shreveport area. And then we have that slight risk extending up into places like Louisville, Paducah, into portions there of Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, even the Buffalo, New York area as we go through today. The biggest risk here overall will be the very large hailstones, over 2 inches in diameter. We could even see 3, even 4-inch diameter hailstones down here today in North Texas, southeastern Oklahoma, and into Arkansas, and even some quarter-size hailstones or so further off to the north and east towards New York State and Pennsylvania. Then we have the threat for some damaging winds, 60, 70 mile per hour here, especially in this red shaded zone around the Arklatex and into North Texas, but we still could be seeing some 60 mile per hour wind gusts all up and down the Ohio, Tennessee River Valley and the eastern Great Lakes as well, and a small chance of a tornado up here into places like Erie, Pennsylvania, getting into the Akron region in northeastern Ohio, and then the much more formidable tornado chance from Dallas-Fort Worth down to Waco, Texarkana, and Little Rock as we go through the day today. So let's look here at this afternoon. Scattered coverage of showers and storms. So yes, a lot of us are under the risk for severe weather. No, not everybody will see severe weather as we go through today, so we'll be scattered coverage. But if you get under one of those severe storms, brace for impact, for very big hail, for some very strong winds, 60, 70 miles an hour, and a few tornadoes possible. As we go into the evening hours, those storms will really start firing off there into Texas, into Arkansas and Louisiana, and then a couple pockets up here into the eastern Ohio Valley as well. As we go into early Thursday morning, those storms will start to fizzle out a little bit, but still posing a risk for isolated severe weather into the mid-Mississippi Valley by that time. And you can see this is what you call maximum updraft helicity And what this basically shows is areas that could have some very big hail today. So you can see across North Texas, we have a lot of those pinks and purples. We could be seeing some pretty big hailstorms today in Texas, maybe some hailstorms over in Arkansas, western and middle Tennessee as well. And then across the eastern U.S., you don't see the pinks and purples like we do in Texas. So I think we're more of likely to see quarter size, maybe half dollar size hail at most, and maybe some sporadic hail events across the eastern U.S. in that slight and marginal risk area. It doesn't stop there. We have another day of slight risk of severe weather from South Dakota all the way down to North Texas and east towards western Tennessee, northwest Mississippi through much of the state of Arkansas and to southwestern Missouri as we go through Thursday. Marginal risk all the way over here in toward the eastern seaboard and up the I-95 corridor. We have some big hail again. Is going to be a problem across southern Kansas, much of the state of Oklahoma and North Texas as we go through Thursday. Winds 60, 70 miles an hour again all up and down the plains there toward the mid-Mississippi Valley. And a few tornadoes can't be ruled out, centered across Oklahoma as we go through the day there on Thursday. And you can see why we have a lot of instability. This is your CAPE values, your convective available potential energy. Seeing these purples and whites again, that's over 4,000 joules per kilogram again on Thursday. That's extreme instability. So here we go. Thursday morning, isolated supercells already firing here in central Texas. Maybe some ongoing convection across the Ohio-Tennessee Valley. This may be more of a heavy rainfall setup for that area. We'll start to see those storms weaken in the Ohio Valley later Thursday morning. Additional supercells developing Thursday afternoon from southern Kansas into Oklahoma there, the Oklahoma City area, Tulsa, down here toward Dallas-Fort Worth. Big hailstones, big wind, and some tornadoes possible. Those will move east as we go into Thursday evening. Cold front starts to move in across the Dakotas and Nebraska, bringing more of a squall line of some widespread storms as we go into Thursday evening, and that low-level jet will start to make those storms unzip down the cold front from Minnesota down through western Iowa into Kansas and northwestern Oklahoma as we go into early Friday morning. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you folks, into southeastern Saskatchewan, southwestern Manitoba, Canada, and the western Dakotas, especially North Dakota, we could start to see some wet snowflakes. I know it is late May, but we could actually see some accumulation out of this, mainly on grassy surfaces. We could be seeing anywhere from 1 to 3, maybe 4 inches of snow on grassy surfaces across western North Dakota going into Friday morning. How crazy is that? And then as we go into Friday, we have a marginal risk right now for severe weather from Milwaukee, Chicago, Grand Rapids, and Indianapolis, all the way down to St. Louis here, Memphis, Little Rock again, the Texarkana area, so a large area there in the Mississippi Valley on Friday. Wouldn't be surprised if this got upgraded to a slight risk level 2 out of 5, but there's a lot of uncertainty with this right now. As we go into the weekend, we have a brand new storm moving across the country. We have the polar jet moving south from Canada and the subtropical jet moving north. Those will join forces across the southern plains on Saturday before joining forces across the eastern U.S. on Sunday here for Memorial Day weekend. Plenty of instability. Again, purples and whites, folks. That is 4,000 joules per kilogram or higher for instability there on Saturday. That is why the Storm Prediction Center is already confident and their day 4 outlook, 4 days out for a slight risk, a large slight risk for most of the state of Missouri, parts of Illinois there, into Arkansas, much of Oklahoma, North Texas, and eastern portions of Kansas. This is likely to be upgraded to an enhanced risk at least as we get closer. Going into Sunday, you can see a lot of that instability. While we don't have those purples and whites with 4,000 plus joules per kilogram of instability, we still have those yellows and oranges. That's 2,000 to 3,000 joules per kilogram. Moderate to strong instability still in play there on Sunday. An enhanced risk on day 5. This is 5 days out across the mid-Mississippi Valley here. Carbondale, Paducah, Bowling Green, back here toward the Jackson, Tennessee, Memphis area, Jonesboro, Arkansas, Cape Girardeau. Some of these areas impacted with that enhanced risk. Level 3 out of 5 already 5 days out. A moderate risk may be upcoming for that system on Sunday. Looking through the rainfall totals here, you can see a couple swaths of some heavier rainfall, mainly across the Mississippi Valley here, one from the southern plains all the way up here through the Ohio Valley, from Texas to Kentucky and Tennessee. Could be seeing a swath of around 1 to 3 inches worth of rain there. Secondary swath up here into the northern Rockies from Montana eastward through the Dakotas. Some of this will actually fall as snowfall, like we mentioned, across western North Dakota. Going into Monday, Memorial Day itself here on May 27th, the heat will be on across the south, across portions of the Rio Grande Valley, and even southern Florida. The heat index values could be in excess of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. A little cooler up to the north, so upper 60s to mid 70s from the upper Midwest through the Great Lakes region and the northeast, and a little bit warmer out west as well, as we have a ridge start to build out there. And you can see that storm system that we're seeing Sunday will make its way into the mid-Atlantic and northeast on Memorial Day. That could bring us some unsettled weather for the eastern U.S., especially for the Ohio Valley, the northeast, and the mid-Atlantic, and even parts of the southeast as we go through that day. Very dry across the plains and west. So the plains, Rockies, Intermountain West, West Coast looks pretty dry for the most part as we go into Memorial Day. And beyond that, as we round out the month of May, you can see that trough will continue to bring cooler temperature anomalies across the Midwest and the Great Lakes region, while the ridge will be on, bringing heat across the west and the Intermountain West as we go into late May here. That will also bring a lot of dry weather and subsidence across the western U.S. Subsidence means a lot of sunshine and a lot of dry weather, and when we have more active weather with that trough across the east and across the south here with more rounds of heavy rain and severe weather to round out the month. Now is the time to prepare for severe weather. We have multiple days upcoming of significant severe thunderstorms, damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. Make sure you're a subscriber here to the channel. We'll have another detailed weather video tomorrow morning. Also, make sure to press the like button down below. It helps out more than you know. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll get to those later on today, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday out there.